Neon reflection. Sometimes you fall in love with the version of yourself someone else sees. Rain shimmered across the streets of Akihabara while giant neon signs reflected endlessly in the puddles below. At 11:56 p.m., Tokyo looked less like a city and more like a dream made from light. Rin stood alone beside the pedestrian bridge, holding her camera tightly against her chest. Another failed photo shoot. Another night, pretending she still enjoyed photography. Cold wind moved through the street as crowds passed beneath glowing advertisements and convenience store lights. No one noticed her. That part, at least, felt familiar. Rin lifted the camera again toward the rain-covered skyline. Click. Blurry. She sighed quietly. Your shutter speed's too slow. The voice beside her came suddenly enough to startle her. Rin turned sharply. A boy stood beneath a black umbrella, watching the image preview glowing on her camera screen. Dark coat. Silver rings around his fingers. Tired eyes reflecting neon blue from the signs overhead. Excuse me, Rin said flatly. The lights are overpowering the exposure. He pointed calmly toward her camera. You're letting the reflections bleed too much. Rin frowned slightly. Do you always criticize strangers in the rain? Only photographers. That's worse somehow. A faint smile appeared on his face. Small, annoyingly attractive. Rain drifted softly between them while Tokyo buzzed endlessly below. And then he held out his umbrella slightly toward her camera. Try again. Rin hesitated, then adjusted the settings carefully and raised the lens toward the city once more. Click! The image appeared sharper this time. The neon reflections glowed beautifully across the wet streets without blurring into light. Rin blinked slightly. Oh, told you. She looked toward him suspiciously. You sound very proud for someone who appeared out of nowhere. I was already standing here. That's somehow creepier. He laughed quietly beneath the rain. The sound lingered strangely inside her chest afterward. And after that night, Rin somehow kept running into him everywhere. Near train stations, under glowing billboards, beside vending machines after midnight. Always during rain. Always carrying the same black umbrella. You're following me, she accused one night while adjusting her camera lens beneath a narrow alley awning. Ray sipped canned coffee beside her. You photograph the exact same places every week. That's artistic consistency. That's fear of trying new things. Rin stared at him. I liked you more when you were mysterious. I'm still mysterious. You buy canned coffee from vending machines every night. That reveals nothing about me. It reveals sadness. A quiet laugh escaped him again. For some reason, Rin had started waiting for that sound. One rainy night, Ray led her through narrow Tokyo side streets she had never photographed before. Tiny ramen shops glowed beneath paper lanterns while rainwater flowed softly along the pavement. The city felt hidden there. Private somehow. You know, Rin said quietly while lifting her camera toward the lights ahead. I used to photograph people. Ray glanced toward her. What changed? She lowered the camera slowly. They never looked the way I wanted them to. Rain tapped gently against umbrellas around them. And now? Rin looked toward the glowing reflections stretching through the alley. Cities don't get disappointed when you look at them too long. For the first time since meeting her, Ray looked genuinely sad hearing that. You know that's not true, right? Rin blinked slightly. What? You photograph lonely places because you think loneliness looks beautiful. The words stopped her completely. Rain drifted softly through the silence between them. Then Ray stepped slightly closer beneath the neon glow surrounding them. But every picture you take still waits for somebody to walk into it. Her chest tightened unexpectedly, because he was right. Weeks passed. Without realizing it, Rin stopped photographing Tokyo itself. Instead, reflections beside Ray's shoes, cigarette smoke beneath neon lights, his silhouette waiting near train stations, tired smiles hidden behind canned coffee, tiny fragments of him slowly filling her camera roll. One night, while reviewing photos together inside a quiet cafe, Ray suddenly stopped at one image, a blurry reflection of himself standing beside her in the rain. "You deleted half your photos," he noticed. "They weren't good enough." Ray looked at her carefully. "You only delete the ones where you look happy." The cafe suddenly felt too warm. Rin quickly looked away. "You notice weird things. You hide weird things." Outside, rain moved softly across the glowing Tokyo streets. Then Ray reached gently toward the camera resting between them. His fingers brushed briefly against hers. Warm. Careful. Rin's heartbeat stumbled instantly. For weeks, something had quietly grown between them inside. Midnight walks, blurry photographs, shared umbrellas, lingering glances beneath neon lights. But neither of them had said it aloud yet. Maybe because saying things aloud made them real. Dangerously real. Near 1 a.m., they stepped back outside into the rain-covered city. Tokyo glowed endlessly around them in pink, blue, and silver reflections. Ray opened his umbrella above both of them automatically now, like there had never been another option. Rin looked toward him quietly while cold rain drifted around the narrow space they shared. "You know what I realized?" You never actually told me why you know so much about photography." Ray smiled faintly. "I used to take pictures, too." "Used to?" Rain slid softly down the umbrella beside them. "My ex said I only photographed things that looked lonely." Rin stared at him silently, then laughed softly beneath the rain. "That might be the most attractive thing anyone's ever said to me." Ray looked genuinely offended. That was supposed to sound tragic. "It did." She stepped slightly closer beside him. "But I still liked it." For a moment, neither moved. Tokyo blurred around them into rain and neon haze while distant trains hummed softly through the night. Then Ray lifted one hand carefully toward her face, slow enough to stop if she pulled away, but she didn't. His fingers brushed softly against damp strands of hair near her cheek. Warm, despite the rain. Rin looked up at him quietly beneath the glowing city lights, then finally whispered, "I think I was waiting for someone to walk into the picture." Ray's eyes softened instantly, and beneath the endless neon reflections of Tokyo after midnight, he kissed her gently in the rain.